Disclaimer. What you are about to watch is both fact and fiction. It's important not to get too wrapped up in the fiction. It is important to note that no regulations were broken in the making of the video. In fact, we read every single regulation in the book and looked at every single frame in this video. 9 minutes at 30 frames per second is 16,200 frames. We compared each frame to every reg and none were broken. If you think a reg was broken, you should seek medical help because your funny bone has gone missing. You may be confusing satire for fact. This does no good for anyone. Put the phone down, don't bother the FA. Consider yourself disclaimed.
I'm guessing he's a multi-engine pilot?
He's a multi-engine pilot.
Let's get you hydrated. Have you had anything to drink?
I had 2 beers before we took off. All right, good morning. It is Checkride morning. I am here in Grand Prairie at Aviator Air, and today I'll be taking my Checkride in this Baron. So one thing I think is worth mentioning is when Dan first presented me with this idea of doing what we're calling accelerated multi-training, I basically said, no, this is a really bad idea.
Hey, okay, seriously though, what do you think about this whole knock it out in 4 days kind of approach rather than weeks and weeks?
When you approached me about this, I thought this was the stupidest idea ever, and I thought this was a guaranteed way to lose a bunch of money and have to take a Checkride twice. I wouldn't do it any other way. But here's the caveat. I would recommend if you're going to do this, bring a buddy, because I think I've gotten as much value out of sitting in the back seat observing you fly as I've gotten sitting at the controls.
Brian.
What's up?
Joey just texted me. I've been in a wreck.
Our DP has just been in a, I hope it's a car wreck. I don't hope it's any kind of wreck, but a car wreck.
I said, oh no, you okay? Hang on, I broke my pinky toenail. I don't know what he means, but it's
ask him if
real.
we get a discount for the Checkride for
broken toenails.
Broken toenails. We still get to fly. His toenail's in op, so we can't.
Toenails in op.
How long does that? What does that mean? Well, so does he need you to go pick him up?
I don't know.
Is he near an airport? I can fly a twin almost.
Yeah. You want me to come pick you up in the Baron? Question mark. Two can play this game.
So what I was saying, it's good to bring a buddy with you when you do your accelerated training. So you get information up to the minute, so we now know exactly what's. Otherwise, I would just be sitting here waiting.
And you wouldn't know that he had broken his.
I noticed I didn't get a text alert.
No, you didn't.
So I've been involved in a wreck here on the interstate, and I'm not going to make it. It appears I broke my little pinky toenail, and I've got to go to the emergency room to have it trimmed.
He's lying.
I proceeded to have a heart attack after that.
I bet this is Joe's way of telling us he's running late.
Yeah, exactly.
He's on the way.
Well, it just means that for our oral, we probably should limit it to about 15 minutes so that you're not in the heat with Brian.
3 questions apiece.
Three questions.
Yeah, pick 3.
Do it.
Choose any 3.
You pick any 3 you want.
All right, one quick update. The examiner wasn't actually in a car wreck. Joey is a very humorous guy and likes to kind of clown around sometimes. So he was just, that's his way of telling us that he was stuck in traffic. So our examiner's okay, our check rides are going to happen, but that was pretty funny.
3.
All right. Famous last words.
Ah!
Dan went first, and I hung out at the diner while he took the oral portion of his exam. He came out briefly before the flying portion and gave me the thumbs up and said they were moving on to the flying portion. Me, Christy, and Reagan watched the flight-aware track to try to determine if Dan was doing well. If it looked like he was coming back early, we wouldn't film his landing and debrief, but if it looked like he was getting a full check ride, then we had less apprehension about filming his return. Sounds good. Naturally, when Dan got back, he gave me the thumbs down, so I immediately dropped my camera and quit filming. But that's just Dan being silly. He did fine. Dan got out of the plane and said everything went great. He and the examiner went to a room and debriefed, and then we had a little bit of time for a bite of lunch before it was my turn to go up. It's always weird when I'm just like doing something and I look up and there's a camera in my face. I'm like, why are you filming me eating?
You said you wanted a camera up all the time.
It's not what I meant. I just meant funny stuff keeps happening when you're not filming. And then you put the camera on me and I'm like eating and wiping my mouth.
No pressure.
Now it was my turn and I was feeling confident, but I had a little bit of nerves. Having just done my commercial with Joey, I knew I would get tested thoroughly. A lot of people claim the multi is a gimme or a freebie. The first thing Joey said to me on both check rides is I've got a reputation for being firm but fair. He'll test you fairly, but he'll push you to max performance in the process. Given where I am in my flying, I don't believe any check ride should be a freebie. The other great thing about Joey is he has an awesome sense of humor. If he senses you're getting stressed, he's got a very sharp wit, and he'll use it to break the tension and bring you back down to level.
Here he goes.
The check ride went well. None of it was filmed, but we did all the same maneuvers that you saw in the previous 2 videos. And on the hottest hour of the hottest day in 2023, I became a multi-engine pilot.
Hey, when does the retest take place?
The retest is double. Double? But we're going to wait till it's hot. I'm going to ride in the back seat. All right.
I'm guessing he's a multi-engine pilot?
He's a multi-engine pilot.
What?
Contrary to popular belief.
Oh, I never thought this could happen. Brian, you hit your goal of 106.
What's 106?
Temperature?
Oh, you're 106? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Oh my gosh,
I think it was
you
about
did.
130 during the course of the test, though.
I probably sweat more in the last hour than I have in the last week.
How many pounds did you lose on this flight?
Well, they're all in the seat.
So the...
Ew.
I'm going to say this on record. Check rides with Joey are intense.
I knew that.
Well, you got to stop doing them at 106 degrees.
He knows how to saturate you.
Good. Excellent. Put him through the ringer. Show him what it's about.
He said, I said, well, I'm going to stick to my reputation, tough but fair. He goes, I can't argue that.
Yeah? Let's get you hydrated. Have you had anything to drink?
I had 2 beers before we took off.
Yes.
That's my with Joey Johnson.
It's the North Texas Physical Platinum member shirt.
He hasn't signed you off yet.
How do you feel?
Brian has a new appreciation of startle factor now.
So
Oh.
Let's go inside.
he got me good, and it wasn't anything I shouldn't have been expected though. Like we haven't been doing the engine on climb out thing, and what he did was he asked me a question. He goes, "Can you see that traffic over there?" And he got me off my guard. And as soon as I wasn't looking, that's when he pulled the.
We're gonna get a selfie and some other pictures. Dan, you get over there.
Okay.
It's not gonna work.
That you have been flying airplanes. When you hear sound, see an engine turning. All right, you're all set, young man. There you are. First multi-engine land pass. Thank you very much. All right, we'll go print it out in just a second.
After we debriefed and we were on the ground and we were all multi-engine pilots, me and Dan and Reagan got to meet with Joey in a room and talk a little bit about the experience. And Joey does this cool demonstration to sort of explain one of the factors that determines the critical engine. I thought this was pretty cool. Watch this.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to arm wrestle, all right, and where our hands come together, or where we meet, where our bodies meet, that's going to represent our center of gravity, all right? You are the rudder, right?
Okay.
All right, and I am the engine. So I'm trying to yaw you this direction. You're trying to counter me the opposite direction, right? And right now we got a pretty even fight, don't we? Okay, but if I move that CG in my favor, right? In my favor, right? Who's got the leverage now?
You, big man.
That's right. Well, this is an aft CG situation. Now let's move it the other way. Forward CG, who's got the leverage?
Wham!
Yeah. Okay. So you see what I'm saying?
I see.
So what we're talking about is the rudder arm, the distance between the CG and the rudder. The longer it is, the more leverage the rudder has to counter the yawing tendency of the adverse yaw of the engine.
Right.
So, and I use that quite frequently to demonstrate to people. Say, look, this is what's going on back
I
there.
use that too.
Okay. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Click this link to see the most recent video upload. Click this link to see a video that YouTube thinks you might like. Click this link to subscribe to my channel.